Who or what inspired you to start drag?
I was definitely inspired by the greats such as Coco Peru and Divine, the drag queens that came, long before Drag Race. Obviously, RuPaul is a huge inspiration to me. I grew up with movies such as, But Not a Cheerleader, movies where he, had small cameo roles, but obviously, had such a big presence as a drag artist. I'm definitely inspired by people like Alan Cumming, who was the star in Cabaret, where he dabbled in drag as well. And overall, I would say just the art form itself inspired me at a young age because it was really a collaboration of dance, theater, makeup, costuming, which was very common to what I was doing at the time, which was musical theater.
What made you decide to start dancing?
I decided to start dancing when I was about 10 years old. My parents tried me in sports, but I never really got into that. I didn't like being outdoors, or I didn't really get along with boys at that time, at that age. So once they entered me in my first dance class, I really fell in love, and it became, a huge passion of mine at an early age.
What made you decide to start Laganja's dance school?
I started Laganja's dance school with my manager at the time. Her name is Kristen Lovell. We no longer work together, but we decided to start that master class that has now traveled the world because we felt like, there was only so much that I could reach people on stage as the character Laganja. So we wanted to use the brand in creating Laganja's dance school, but also have people get an opportunity to meet me, Jay Jackson, the artist behind the drag superstar, and really have a one-on-one with my buds, as I like to call them. So moving, into a dance studio where I could, physically connect with people, it was really important to me as an artist. And I feel like dance is a universal language. So I wanted to spread that language because I think that no matter, who you are, where you're from, what you like, we all understand the language of movement.
What's your favorite part of doing drag?
My favorite part of doing drag is usually once it's all on, and I'm all dressed because that takes many, many hours. My favorite part is usually just doing the meet and greets. I really love getting an opportunity to meet the people who support me and to hug them and to get to know their stories and why it is that drag is so important to them.
That's sweet. You've done the choreography for Stun. What was that like? And what did you think of the outcome?
Well, I was very pleased with the outcome. I think that Gia and Alaska did an amazing job. I was super excited that they asked me to do the choreography. As I said, dance is my true passion. So being able to facilitate their dreams with my skills was wonderful. And I think it's an iconic video that really stands on its own. So I'm so glad that I had a small part of it.
You skydived and dived with sharks in full drag. What was that experience like, and were you nervous?
I was very nervous. Much like most Americans, we're taught to believe that sharks are evil creatures that lurk in the water and are man-eaters. But through the experience with One Ocean diving, I learned that that's actually not the case at all, that they're very loving creatures and that, our blood doesn't even really attract them. In fact, it's more about the way you move in the water that attracts sharks. But if you were cut and bleeding in the water, that really, it would mean nothing to sharks. Our blood does not attract them. So it was a very enlightening experience. And, once I was in the water for about 5 or 10 minutes, I became very comfortable and began diving down to get the pictures that you saw online. Skydiving was a little different. It was actually very scary for me. It's not something that I'm for sure I would ever do again. My 70-year-old mother has talked about wanting to do it, and if she decides to do it, I would do it again with her. But it's definitely an experience that I've checked off my bucket list and don't wish to visit again. It was really scary. But it was beautiful, and I'm very proud of myself that I did it, because I think anytime you can accomplish your fears, you gain stronger as a person. So I'm glad I did it, but it isn't something I'm, running back to do again, where I would definitely swim with sharks again.
Is there anything about drag that you feel is underrated?
I'm sorry?
Is there anything about drag that you feel is underrated?
Yes, I do think I'm definitely underrated. I think unfortunately the way the system works is there's about 10 girls who are super popular, and those 10 girls get recycled, over and over because they are the most popular and because that's best for business. So unfortunately, I'm not one of those 10 girls. And because I won't go back to All Stars, I haven't been able to expand my platform quite like the others have. But that being said, I'm an artist first and foremost. So, I try not to worry about where I'm ranking, even though it is something that I'm conscious of, because I didn't become an artist to be the most popular, the most famous, or the richest. I became an artist to change the world. So that's what I try to focus on.
What made you decide to start creating music?
Well, I've always loved music. I grew up in musical theater, so singing is something that I'm very passionate about, but that I haven't explored since I really started drag. I've made several singles here and there, but this year I really focused on creating a full album, which should be coming out sometime next year. My next single, Smoke Break, will be dropping on November 16th, which is in about a week. And I'm really excited to share what I've been working on with Big Snow Entertainment, which is the production company out of Atlanta that I've been working with. I also recently starred in the Rocky Horror Show in San Antonio as Frankenfurter, where I got to sing live on stage, and that was a big dream come true. Because like I said, I grew up in musical theater, so there are several roles that I've always wanted to play, and that was definitely one of them. So I'm hopeful that as I continue to expand my artistic platforms, that singing and rapping will continue to be a part of that.
What's your thoughts on Alaska's impression of you?
I think Alaska is hilarious. I was super grateful when she did the impression of me because, that we always say good or bad press is good press. So, some people saw it as her making fun of me, but I really saw it as her loving and celebrating my character. So I was super into it, and she's been very supportive of my career, since then as well. We did a song together called Give Me All Your Money, like you had mentioned earlier, choreographing for her and Gia. So I believe she's a real big supporter of all of us Ru girls. So I support her in anything she does.
You got to dance for Miley Cyrus at the VMAs. What was that experience like?
Working with Miley was a dream come true. I got to be very intimate with her and work and choreograph in her backyard before we took it to the stage with all the other queens. So really getting to see her as a person and not just a celebrity was a gift that I'll always cherish forever. And I'm also thankful that because of that, one endeavor, I was able to get a dance agent and dance representation in Los Angeles, which is a very hard to achieve. So it was truly a gift, like I said, and I'm so thankful that she, acknowledged my other skills besides just being a drag queen and gave me a chance to really work on something outside of being Laganja.
You're a true star. What made you and Gia decide to be Team Too Much?
Well, I think Gia and I had an early connection from day one on RuPaul's Drag Race, as I'm sure you saw in season 6. And, over the years, we've just gotten a lot closer. In fact, I took her in for 8 months in LA, where she lived with me in my house with my manager at the time, Kristen. And, our relationship has just grown stronger and stronger. Of course, we've had our ups and downs, as any friendship does, but we are truly friends, and we really have learned to work through those moments of conflicts or disagreements. And being able to be with her through her transition this year has also been just so powerful to see someone become their true self and authentic self. So I love her very much, and I'm hopeful that we will get to tour as Team Too Much again together in the near future.
Can you tell us a bit about your first time in drag?
My first time in drag would probably be on a Halloween. That was really my one time that I would get in drag. I would say I probably did that when I was in college. I remember one year I went as Elvira, and that was probably the first time I ever dressed in drag.
We've got 2 more questions left. You'll be happy to hear. We've got 2 more questions left. You're a cannabis rights activist. What is the end goal that you're trying to achieve?
Well, I'm actually focusing more on cannabis as we speak. I'm going to be moving to Colorado next year to really take time to focus on the cannabis side of my brand. I think it's really important as an activist that we spread the medicinal properties of the plant and to really educate people first and foremost on how it, helps with so many different kinds of ailments such as autism, epilepsy, cancer, HIV. And I also believe as a business person, there is a lot of money to be made in that industry. So as much as I love drag, it has not been very financially stable for me. And I believe that cannabis hopefully will be the answer to my money troubles. So I'm looking at pursuing it not only as a business person, but to continue my activism.
What was it like meeting Alyssa's family and being part of Dancing Queen, the Netflix documentary?
It was a lot of intense moments to be a part of Dancing Queen. Obviously, as you saw, it was a very dramatic series with the moms, lots of conflict. But what I can say is I'm super happy for her. I think she deserves all the success that she is gaining, and I'm super excited to see where she goes with her project. I'm glad for her.
Send it off. Where can people find your social media?
You can find me at Laganja Estranja on all platforms. I made sure that it was simple and easy to do. So if you can spell my name, you can find me on Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat and all of those good things.
Thank you very much for being part of this interview.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing what you produce.
Thank you very much.